Welcome everyone. We are World Academy for Research and Development, and we are a UK-based organization with a goal to be one of the best training institute globally. And to keep up with the quality of the education, we have the ISO certification. Just to give you a glimpse of the ISO certifications we have. So the first one is 21001. It's about management system and educational organization. The second is the 17,024, which is the general requirements for bodies operating certifications. Person 1414 is about HRM, guidelines for internal and external capital reporting. And the fourth is the 40,180, which is about information technology that deals with quality of learning, education, and training. So basically what we have impacted globally so far is that we have a presence in 65 plus countries. We have about 200 plus programs related to academic to certified programs. So far, we have trained over 30,000 professionals across these countries. There's a pool of 132 instructors across 14 countries that actually provides the training. We do the online training as well. And also there's a self-paced version. About 30% of our alumni are C-suits, and they are from major organizations globally. And the completion rate of our program is 95%. So that's quite a good number in terms of being qualified. Now, we offer different kind of courses, as I've said before. And to put up into perspective why we are the right choice, well, the professional certifications will be provided from UK. We provide globally accepted credentials as well. All our programs, we try to keep it in an affordable fees, and therefore we also provide a flexible plan. We have tried to cover most of the professional areas, which includes 150 certified programs, 30 plus master's level programs, 40 plus diploma level programs. We also have a user-friendly LMS system. So after a participant enrolls, he gets the service of the learning management system, which is very easy to use. Including that, upon successful completion, we provide a credential badge issued by credly.com. It's a concern of Pearson. So from anywhere in the world, you can actually verify the badges. Now, a bit about our global affiliation. That we are an accredited institute by NQA. It is a regulated body by the UK. We are a member of American Accreditation Association, an approved center of Cambridge Academy of Professionals UK, an approved center of Profqual UK, and Board of HR Certifications UK. We are a very proud provider of HRCI, USA, SHRM, and ATD. These are all US-based organizations. I'm sure whoever is related to the HR field are quite aware of these three institutes. A couple of our programs are also academically aligned with SHRM. We are an accredited institute by the International Professional Accreditation Council, Singapore, a member of CPD certification, CPD Group UK, and currently partnering with Singapore Training and Development Association, Institute of KPI Specialist, and Academy of Business English and Communication. Now, the purpose we all are here are because of this webinar, which is about the transformational leadership as a tool for leading intergenerational team. And we have with us a very renowned trainer, Najda Khan. She's an expert in HR. Basically, this webinar is actually a summit prelude, which we would like to inform you all. And that summit will be held on the 31st July and the 1st of August. So basically, it's a 2-day summit, which is going to cover the local professionals Riding the Crest of Changes. That's the summit that we are going to conduct. There will be some key points that we'll be covering about purposive leadership for impact, power of AI in professional practices, integration and ESGs into practice, and there will be more takeaways. So we're going to conduct this physical session in Karen Country Club, Nairobi, Kenya. So again, it's going to be on 31st July and the 1st of August. So if you require any information or if you are interested to join this exciting summit, we would request you to connect with us. Maybe you can also drop into our chat box. We will connect you through. So there's a fee, which is about $150. So I'm almost done with my introduction. I want to see if our trainer is available right now. Mr. Nazmul, did she join?
Not yet. Would you please check?
Yeah, just give me a moment.
Mm.
I would like to request everyone to be a bit patient. We'll try to connect with the trainer and then we'll start off with the webinar. Please stay tuned.
Tohid, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
So, can you connect? Have you contact number of trainer?
Yes, let me just connect with her and then tell her
Okay,
to
so
join.
you can check with her. I can.
Yeah, just give me a moment, sir.
Okay. So, dear delegates, welcome to the webinar. We are eagerly waiting for our webinar speaker. So once she join, once the speaker join, then we will hand over to the speaker. So till then, let me talk about the little bit of, I mean, though it's not today's, I'm not the today's program speaker, but however, let me have a little bit of thought on this transformational leadership. As the webinar is concerned, transformational leadership as a tool for leading intergenerational team. Okay, so what does transformational leadership looks like actually? There are different types of leadership, you know, that particularly if it is a transactional and transformational is concerned, there are I mean, as per the, what can I say, the contribution or focus area, we can divide it into two: the transactional leadership and transformational leadership. So the transformational leadership, that means shifting together holistically the entire things. That is actually the transformational leadership. Suppose in any organization, yeah, our resource person joined, right? Nazda, can you hear me?
Yeah, hi. Hello, everyone. I'm
Yes, yes,
here
yes.
now, finally.
Okay, okay. Thank you very much for joining us. So, dear delegates, let's welcome our resource person. So, she will be continuing from now onwards. Thank you very much, Nazda, for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. And I have to apologize for being late. I've been trying the link, and apparently I had the wrong one. So I finally got somebody to to assist in getting into the right connection. So, how am I? Can I share screen? Is this
Yes, yes, you can share the screen. You have the permission to share, no problem. You can just start off immediately.
okay? One
I would
second.
like to, yes, you can switch
All
on your
right, great.
camera as well.
So,
Thank you.
yes, I will shortly. I'm just trying to set up and have everything working. Um, Please
Perfect.
confirm that you can see my screen.
Yes, it is clear. Just put it on full screen mode and then we can start off.
1 second. I'm going to try and put my camera on now. Okay, so I guess we can see each other. Well, I can see, you guys can see me now, and I'm going to start. Once again, thank you everyone for being here, and I'm excited about having this discussion. I'm always excited about talking about transformational leadership, and it's a passion. It's part of my legacy building, and even more excited when we talk about intergenerational teams. So let's begin with a bit of an icebreaker, and just so that we can start on a fresh note, on the same note at least in the chat right now. Can you type what generation do you identify with? You know, we're going to have a whole discussion and a few slides about what is, what is transformational leadership in intergenerational elements. But many times when we talk about intergenerational, many people don't even know what we're talking about, or some people are even confused about which generation they're in. So very quickly, I can see Simone saying millennial, great. uh, Neptune, you're also a millennial. Okay, lots of millennials. I'm a millennial as well. No, am I? Yes, I am. Okay, so uh, Tauhida X. All right, so that's Gen X. Very nice. Millennial with the heart of Gen Z. Janet Gikonyo. Very. I'd love to know what that means. Millennial with the heart of Gen Z. Ahsan, millennial. We seem to be having a lot of millennials here, and that's very typical of the current job market. Also here, Ronnie, millennial with a taste of Gen Z. I love this. Everyone keeps saying it. Fatma, Gen Z. Sandra, Gen Z. Again, very typical. I'm expecting to see a lot of Gen Z and millennials, and that's exactly what's happening. Michelle, Gen Z. Um, the lady before, I didn't get the name, also Gen Z. Saifi, Gen Z. Great. So I'm really excited to be Tabit, Gen Z, Tofi, millennial. Wow, we've got a lot of, actually, we have a fair share between millennial and Gen Zs. Very typical, as we're going to learn in the next few slides, that those are the two leading generations in your workforce right now. And anyone, we had 1X, which was Gen X. We had one, which is, yay, we have to hold the card up for that one. So a brief introduction. My name is Najda. I'm your trainer for today. I'll be the speaker. I identify as an HR geek. I'm a culture whisperer. I love talking about culture. I'm a transformational leadership devotee. I'm also an advocate of alternative dispute resolution. So I'm a certified mediator, and it's great that we're talking about intergenerational transformational leadership, because we find that conflict is an element that is seen very strongly when it comes to intergenerational office dynamics. So I'm also a PhD candidate in social transformation. So as you can see, transformation is what I live for, and I'm always, like I said, passionate to talk about. So in today's session, we're going to unpack why transformational leadership is is non-negotiable when it comes to leading teams that span decades. We can't expect to be running offices where we have people from 5 different decades or 4 different decades or 3 different decades, and say that we don't need a certain leadership style. So we'll dive into tools, we'll get into some stories and statistics, and like real world actions. So it's not just a training where we'll be told what transformational leadership and why it's good for intergenerational dynamics. We need to dive into the real world. Actions that will elevate your leadership game and be able to make it make sense. So imagine that you are walking into an office where one team member is still using a fax machine. Another team member is sending Slack emojis on the WhatsApp group, on the office WhatsApp group. Another one prefers a phone call, and another one is emailing you at 12 midnight. The fact is, this is a reality today. In one office, you can have all these 4 people existing, sometimes even in the same department, sometimes in totally different departments. And according to the World Economic Forum, by 2025, that's now, we're in 2025, the millennials and Gen Z will make up 75% of the workforce. Remember, I said when it's typical that in this call right now, in this webinar, we have 90 something percent who are Gen Z and millennials equally. So, but the fact remains is that Gen X and the baby boomers still hold the bulk of the leadership positions. So your CEOs, your CFOs, the guys sitting on the board and making the big decisions, those are now the next baby boomers. So already that's four clear um, different generations that you're in. So how do we create the synergy without friction? The one fact, the coexistence is a must. We have to be able, if we're saying millennials and Gen Zs are going to make 75% of the workforce, and we still have these other two older generations working, coexistence is a must. It's not going anywhere. You cannot only work in a Gen X office, it's not going to work. So we need to be able to coexist. What happens is, how do we do that without friction? We'll see in the later stages, the conflict is inevitable when you're dealing with different intergenerational dynamics. But conflict, if used properly, becomes a tool, something that you can actually work. That friction is actually a tool that you can learn from and mold to work for you. But how do we reduce the friction? How do we understand the friction? So that's where I'm saying transformational leadership comes in. You don't just manage generations, you ignite them. You take what the best in every generation, you ignite that and you use it for your business. So what is transformational leadership? Let's start there. So transformational leaders, they don't just tell people what they do. In Africa, especially, we have traditional leadership. So this is where you have hierarchical leadership, where you're just told what to do and you put your head down and you say yes. It's seen in our political systems, it's seen in our government offices. This is how traditional leadership is still very much thriving in a lot of maybe the global south, you would say. However, transformational leaders don't tell people what to do, they show them how to do it. They show them why it matters. So this is basically what a transformational leader is versus other leadership styles. So transformational leaders, they lead with purpose. Well, you'll find a leader leading with authority, with fear, there's so many characters in different types of leaders. But with the transformational leader, you will find that this leader, when I look at them, I see purpose. I see the sense of purpose. They're very visionary people. Their vision is very clear, and they are a people first leader. So every time they will always think my team, my people. It's the kind of virtues a transformational leader has. So in the real world, think of people like Nelson Mandela. Think of Jacinda Ardern, the former Prime Minister of Australia, or is it New Zealand? I'm forgetting. Think of Satya Nadella of Microsoft. These leaders, if you look at their case studies, if you go and read about them and research them more, you'll realize one thing they have in common. They were able to connect across various divides. They were able to connect different generations just by listening deeply and leading with boldly. So being able to listen deeply enabled them to and their vision is always clear from the start. They were very clear with, this is my vision, this is why we're doing it, and they were able to take hordes of people around with them. So the good news is, you don't have to be born with as a transformational leader. It's you could be, but you don't have to be born. So you can't just look back and say, oh, I wasn't born a transformational leader. No, it's something that you build. You have to want to build it. You have to understand what it is, and once you're in it and you've bought into it, you build it. And just the fact that you're here today in this webinar means you're already taking the steps towards that, if it's something that's new to you and something that you want to explore. So let's make this make business sense. Every time you're talking, especially to the Gen X, the baby boomers, it's when you need to make it make sense in terms of business. So transformational leadership, it's not just a feel-good idea. It's a lovely notion to hear about. You look at the people and you think, oh, this is great. Wow, yay, transformational leadership. But it's not just a feel-good idea. It's proven to drive performance. So as you can see, Harvard, so this is Harvard Business Review. The research shows that companies with transformational leadership cultures outperform its peers by 2.6% in revenue growth. So, like I said, transformational leadership, intergenerational dynamic transformational leadership, is not just a feel good term. It actually makes business sense. So, if you look at the legends that we have on this slide right now, so you've got each one of them is a case study, all right? So, each one of them is a case study of bold, people centered transformational leadership. So, we have Satya Nadella, like I said, from Microsoft. He turned Microsoft from this rigid tech giant. What we knew Microsoft to be before Satya Nadella and after him are two different companies, literally. But he turned it from a rigid tech giant, who's very rigid in how it used to work, into a global innovation powerhouse. It's today one of the best places to work, regarded as the best places to work. He was leading by two main things. One, leading by empathy, and two, leading by the growth mindset. That's it. So I want to put a pin on empathy. It's just one of the key things, like we said, very bold, but people first. When you're a people first person, empathy is at the top of the top of the list. Then let's look at, for example, Oprah Winfrey. Everyone knows Oprah Winfrey. So she's transformed media as we knew it. From a long time ago. It didn't happen now. She personally, literally transformed media by leading with purpose. Her media, her approach to people was a purpose-driven approach. It wasn't just selling what people wanted to hear. It had purpose. She was vulnerable. She shared her own personal story. She led with vulnerability and her emotional. She is the case study for emotional intelligence. So she built her entire empire rooted in authenticity, and that's when you look at whether it's in the media. If you're looking for a transformational leader, that's what comes in through there. Steve Jobs, we know. When he ignited Apple's culture and creativity. Where he didn't just sell tech. He came in and sold people's dreams to them through tech. Literally, again, people first. Jacinda Ardern, if we remember her during COVID, we remember her during the shooting that time in Australia. What did she do? She came out with compassion. She went to the mosque and she was holding babies and she was crying with them and she was eating with them. And again, compassion, humility, emotional intelligence, people first. It all became people first. Till today, Jacinda Ardern is a case study when we look at crisis leadership or crisis management in leadership, because she really hit the mark with this one. So I'm just bringing this into real world people we know, people we read about, we watch, we see, and so so that you can put a face to it as we talk about it. So now here we're talking about the generations. Again, we can't talk about intergenerational without actually breaking it down, and we're going to focus obviously on this four being the main generations that we have. So each generation is like a different musical instrument. Think about it: a guitar, a flute, a drum set. Alone, they're unique. They're very unique. So you can look at a flute and a drum set, very unique, but they're both musical instruments. But together, played together, they create a symphony. Just think about it. Play a flute, very nice. Play the drum, very nice. Play together, you create a symphony. So if you know how to conduct that symphony, if you have the notes, if you've figured it out, and now you have this, musical notes in front of you, and you know the symphony you're creating, then you have that harmony, then you have that symphony. So a Gen Z, for example, they just want impact. Millennials, they want meaning in what they do. Gen Xers, for example, they want space. Boomers, they want stability. That's it. This is how. So you can't lead them all the same way, but you can lead them transformationally. It's not a one, like if you decide I'm going to talk to my whole team is made up of these 4 generations, but I'm going to say the same thing to them in the same way. You have to find a balance. There has to be symphony. You can't lead them all the same. Just remember that. You can't, that one leadership style won't work. That's why transformational leadership, because it is a people first, you will tend to tailor make your approach to each one of them by understanding, by giving in and not fighting. And so we can't, so just, I mean, I'm sure you've all had a look at this table, just be able to break down what the generation, the values, the communication, and the work style. So it's good that we understand them, but then boom, we cannot talk intergenerational leadership or intergenerational anything without clash of the generations. These are four, like I keep saying, like we all know, 4 very different decades and times, 4 very different generations with 4 very different mindsets. They all want different things. So how do you have them all in one office and not have clash? Clash is a must. It's going to happen. So if you're thinking, yeah, my team is all fighting because I have this one guy who wants to fax everyone. I have this other one who wants to send an email at midnight. I have this one lady who just wants to send emojis on the WhatsApp group. That's how she talks. Instead of saying, I have received the email, she just sends a thumbs up, and they're all not merged. They're not working together, and it's causing me time, and there's a lot of conflict. It's, it's going to happen. These are common generational clashes. And as a transformational leader, you take a step back. You don't try and stop the clash. You look at the conflict, you understand the conflict, you let the conflict be a part of you, and a part of your study. You study it and you take the gold from it and you implement. I'm going to ask for 1 second because I find a lot of people are texting me to say they cannot access the. I have a group that people are saying they can't access. So just let me share with them the link that was shared to me just now. I'm actually getting a lot of calls as well. So if you can just allow me 1 second. Okay, I think I've managed. All right, back to this. Okay, so have you ever heard a boomer say, these young people just don't want to work these days? I'm sure for all those people working in intergenerational dynamics in the office, you've heard this. I'm laughing because it's one of the most say things. Or a Gen Z sitting, hunched on the phone saying, I just don't feel valued in this office. Clashes are natural. So when world views collide, you can't, you have a boomer saying, when I was young, I used to walk 10 kilometers to school and I hardly had shoes. I'm laughing again because this is something that we've probably heard in every home or every office or every boomer saying. And the Gen Z just looking like, I cannot even comprehend. And so obviously these two people will have very different views. So, but the job of a transformational leader, like I said, is not to suppress these differences. Don't try and suppress them and say, no, you all have to fit, you all have to conform. No, you have to leverage them. Each one of them have a difference that can teach the other and learn from the other. And so conflict in this case, like I said, becomes a resource. You lean into it with curiosity. You look into conflict with curiosity. You want to learn it. You don't look at it with judgment, like these kids of nowadays, or oh man, these old people who can't even use LinkedIn or stuff like that. This is like we said, conflicts. Feedback is very different for each side. Some people want more, some people want less. There's the different definitions to respect. Somebody sending a thumbs up on a WhatsApp group chat is maybe considered disrespectful to somebody who's expecting a one paragraph at least as a response instead of that. But the fact is, even if the person sent the thumbs up, will they get the job done? 100% yes. The one who sends the one paragraph or one page response, will they get the job done? The fact is yes. So we just understand that we are different and we respect that. And that's the job of the transformational leader. So how do we then uh, ignite harmony, intergenerational harmony? So maybe 5 tips. We could. I mean, this training can go on for days if we go very deep into it. We have an hour, obviously, and we're trying to discuss a quick way and tap into this with real life tips. So let's talk about 5 power moves. All right. So when do you want your Gen Zs to thrive? If you think I have a lot of Gen Zs and I want them to thrive, get them to mentor the boomers on tech, for example. So you get them to, and you want the boomers to be more engaged instead of just sitting in their office and doing things that they want to be more engaged. Get them to mentor the Gen Zs on people skills, for example. We all know understanding what your strengths are is very important. Understanding what your weaknesses are is even more important. We know that we're all professionals. We understand that we leverage our strengths, but we work on our weaknesses, and we all have weaknesses. So Gen Zs, for example, are not people. Their interpersonal skills are lacking. With the boomers, their skills are lacking. So get them to mentor each other. This is called reverse mentorship. It's not where just the older or the more experienced person is mentoring. No, it's reverse mentorship. And what happens is you're getting in during this reverse mentorship. Not only are they switching skills here, but they're understanding a lot about how they're talking, how they're sitting, how they're walking. Maybe they'll share some personal stories, and this is how you break the clashes of intergenerational walls. So then we make communication diverse. Communication doesn't have to stick to emails or faxes or letters printed. It create WhatsApp groups, Zoom town halls. We all using town halls now. It's the best way probably to communicate. Don't box your style. So if you are a boomer or you are a Gen Z and you feeling that, oh, why can't we just do it this way? No, just the way we're saying workforces have to be diverse, we have to also be able to understand that our ways to communicate, our ways to do all these other things need to be equally diverse. So we cannot box our style in terms of communication is key. Work around all your generations, and I mean just be diverse, like we said. And then feedback, create a feedback culture. I cannot stress this enough. It's very, very, very sad when we look at the feedback cultures within multiple majority of organizations. I mean, just by show of hands, let's make this interactive, or just put thumbs up. How many are still working with or have interacted with an organization that still does performance reviews annually, like at the end of the year performance review? Just thumbs up. If you like, you don't even need to write anything. Just an emoji will be great, or something. Just it's very sad to know that in this day and age, as we learn and all these global best practices and all these case studies out there, we still have organizations at the end of the year that are sitting and doing performance reviews, and it's scary, it's intimidating. So again, let's work on feedback cultures. Let's make it less scary. Think somebody's just finished the project that they're working on. Hey, great work in real time. Hey, that was great work. Kudos, guys. Round of applause for Jane. Something like that. It's in real time. It's not a scary annual review. Or drop an email. You can't. I mean, verbally, fine. Email. Jane, that was great work. Copy the right people. Copy her manager. Copy her colleagues who worked with her. Great work. You showed exceptional leadership skills. I'm very proud of you. Look, let's jump to the next, something like that, real time. And you create a feedback culture that is, when you're sitting at the end of the year, how many good things are you going to remember? That's why it is always so negative, because our brains, human nature, we tend to remember the bad things. So at the end of the year, be like, remember in January when you did this, and in February, but in December, I thought we've had like we went out, we played golf. How do you even still remember that happened? It's that's the kind of situation that we create. And I mean, hopefully, we have more transformational leaders budding out there and influencing feedback culture. So these are ways that we can these are some power moves that we can use to to harmonize intergenerational dynamics. So I want to jump very quickly, I know we're running with time, into our case study for today. And for those who've interacted with me, for those who know me and my transformational leadership masterclass, it's very heavily on Satya Nadella and Microsoft and his focus. I mean his transformational leadership there. So let's talk. Let's get real. Real talk now. Microsoft, one of the most powerful case studies of how transformational leadership doesn't just work. It literally it turns even the giants around. My argument is always, why do I use Microsoft? Why do I use Satya Nadella? Not because he actually came in and taught us, schooled the world on transformational leadership. This is Microsoft, guys. It's not a small company somewhere that did a great thing and we're learning from. It's Microsoft. It's a giant. It's one of the giants globally right now. If they have spent so much money, time, and effort on transformational leadership, empathy, the skills that other much smaller organizations feel are not worthy. If they have done this, aren't we now supposed to be learning global best practices based off these giants? So this is one of the main reasons I stick to Satya Nadella and Microsoft. So in 2014, when Satya Nadella took over from Steve Ballmer, at the time Microsoft was known as this bureaucratic, um, insular, kind of lagging behind. That's the vibe it had in terms of its leadership, its its culture, and morale was down. Innovation at that time, pre 2014, was very slow, and their stock as Microsoft had been low for relatively flat for many years post, pre 2014. Then Satya came in and he introduced transformational leadership approach. It was grounded in, like I said, empathy. Empathy is a huge foundation for his leadership. He also brought in collaboration. He ensured that there was a lot of collaboration happening within teams and a growth mindset. Another very key element. If you are going to be boxed in and I don't need this skill and I don't need to learn, and a growth mindset is just somebody who actively owns a growth mindset is somebody that recruiters look for. Interviewers are actually looking for people today with a growth mindset, because that means that they're hungry for knowledge. They're hungry for, and people who are hungry for knowledge innovate. They think out of the box. They resolve conflicts faster. This is the kind of team player people are looking for today. So he also pushed for and implemented a growth mindset. So what was his first move when he came into office in Microsoft? He sent out a, a company-wide email, and it was titled "Hit Refresh." And in this email, he emphasized the need to shift the culture before chasing profit. He said, we can't keep chasing profit. We're going to change the culture of Microsoft, and the profit's going to come. And so he abolished this toxic internal competition system. He promoted cross-team collaboration. He encouraged vulnerability, because if you encourage vulnerability, you're encouraging mistakes. If you encourage mistakes, people are going to want to think of new things and innovate more. So and he rebuilt trust both internally and externally. What were the results? Between 2014 and 2024, Microsoft's market value grew from 300 billion to over 3 trillion. When we keep saying the statistics don't lie, transformational leadership approaches lead to revenue growth. It leads to profits. This is a giant example. In 2024, it became the most valuable company in the world. Employee satisfaction and innovation metrics skyrocketed in Microsoft like never before. So all because of what? Literally, because of what? A shift in leadership philosophy that created a shift in the culture in the company. So culture drives performance, full stop. So that's the power of transformational leadership in action. And that's why we use Satya Nadella as the master of transformational leadership in terms of case studies. I hope that this one slide has inspired you as much as it inspired me years ago and every time I read about, get a chance to read more on Satya Nadella and his influence. I don't know what the scribble that has shown up on the screen that was about. So, all right, guys. All right, everyone. Thanks. I, Nancy, hi. I really love this discussion, Najda. This is the situation I'm in right now. Thank you so much, Nancy. Great to hear that, and I hope that it will inspire everyone, and at least we can learn from this. So this slide is where the magic happens. Allow me to spend a bit more time in this because I feel if we said we're going to have tips and we're going to have real ideas and things that you're going to be able to do it on how to's, this is the slide. This is the slide I want to focus on. So this is where we move from theory into action. Now, because being a great leader today is not about having all the answers. We know leaders can't have all the answers. It's about knowing how to bring the best from every generation in the room. Like I said, you're gonna have these four generations in the room. You need to understand what's the best they offer and bring it into the room. So let's walk through this fun table together, okay? This is the transformational moves for today's multi-generational workplace. First, be a coach, not a boss. Transformational leadership is a people-first approach. It's a vulnerable approach. It's an empathic approach. A lot of emotional intelligence. So there's no me, I. So transformational leaders don't come off as bossy or bosses. They are coaches. What does a coach do? Coaches see the best in you and then encourage you to see the best and be able to bring them out. So be a coach, not a boss. Skip the formalities. Set up weekly power hour check-ins. Open door policy. If you feel like everyone else in the office is a jeans and sneakers kind of guy, stop wearing, ditch the suit. I mean, does the suit mean that you're going to increase your revenue, or just that people are going to relate more to you if you dress like them? So start doing that as well. Whatever it is that just work with your team. Merge into your team. Uh, power hour check-ins are really great, even if it's 30, 60 minutes where you listen to them. What are their goals? What are their ideas? What are their worries? For example, what's the result of this? What's just the result of, literally, if you're to have a power hour, you have people from all the generations feeling seen, feeling heard. They start talking more. They start taking ownership more. They start to feel like I'm comfortable in my skin. My boss sees me, he hears me, he sees my skills and values, and voila, performance skyrocketing, each one. And that directly translates to revenue. Next, communication matters. I kept saying earlier, communication is key. Can we please not, we can't communicate enough. So don't send a Gen Z a PDF and expect them to be so happy about it. Use memes, use short videos, but if you're talking to a Gen X or a boomer, maybe a clear professional email or a call. See, the thing about a transformational leader, like we said, you wouldn't have all the answers. You won't. You learn as you go around it. But if you embrace that everyone is different and you need to deal with them differently, then you're winning from here to the bank, literally. So the point is, flex your style. Like you're some amazing yoga instructor. Flex, flex, flex. Like it just has to be different with everyone, and that's how you create harmony. So third, we said recognition. Recognition is, so a Gen Z will love if you're in that, that power hour we talked about, you're in that power hour, and they'd love the shout out. Uh, I mean, um, what's the word? Not in private, the in public, or probably you have a LinkedIn or an Instagram company account. They'd love a picture, to see a picture of the Alex, employee of the month because of project XYZ, and they'd love to see themselves on Instagram, reshare, like, post, and they do all that. This is, this is, for example, boomers. We all, how boomers used. There was a time where they used to have the coffee mugs that used to say legend, or the legend, this, yeah. um that does the trick, because boomers, that's what they grew up around. So just being able to say thank you through giving them a mug. When we personalize praise, we're saying, I see you, I value you. I, I mean, is everyone else as shocked as I am when I say this point? Because it's so simple, and it's something we learn since we're kids. We do, even if you're a parent, you don't treat all children differently. You'll talk to this one, you want the same output from all of them, but you will approach them differently. It's the exact same thing. And when you personalize praise, you're just saying, I see you, I value you, I need you in my team. My team is doing well because of you. A fun one, like, I love reverse mentoring, and I think it's extremely important. When the Gen Zs teach TikTok tools or automation hacks, the boomers coach on crisis management or building executive presence. The learning flows both ways, and innovation. For example, mix the boomers, the millennials, the Gen Zs into project pods. When you do projects, when you have projects, it's very. I'm sure you've already seen this if you work in big teams. But normally the Gen Zs will go and pull, the millennials will pull, the boomers will pull. This is what happens. But you, as a transformational leader, try and mix them up. So you say, okay, Jane, Alex, Matthew, you guys are going together in this one, ensuring you kind of have all these different people in one. And because you've already created an environment where they feel comfortable in their skin, they know they're seen, they're heard, they're valued. Now do that and then watch what happens. Like, the bold will meet the wise, and creativity just explodes. It's literally magical. So that's and then, of course, gamify learning. What is gamified learning? So when you turn learning into a team sport, cross-generational trivia, storytelling nights, hackathons, bring everyone together. Let learning not be typically boring. Let learning not be behind a desk where you can just sit on a computer and do it all alone. Make sure that there is engagement. Make sure that people actually have to, loosen their ties or roll up their sleeves or something like that. Finally, lead with empathy. This is last but not least. This is probably the most important one. Ask simple things like, what's the best way you like to contribute? What gives you energy at work? Just being able to ask these kind of simple questions, again, makes people heard and seen, and uh, create space for this kind of things. And with these strategies that we're talking about now, not only are you leading, you're transforming your people. Your people are actually, you're leading as a transformational leader, but you are now transforming your team to also emerge, to also transform. And your workplace then becomes, this in stage of transformation and intergenerational brilliance. Yeah. So I guess if we are ending this slide, is just to say, be the bridge, not the bottleneck. We know Nairobi roads very wide, and then they come into these bottlenecks. Don't be that. Be the bridge that takes the people from here to here, not that bottleneck. So you have this brilliant thing, and then you bottleneck when it comes to intergenerational. These approaches that I'm sharing today, I really spent a lot of time in putting them together, because I wanted them to be so easy, so relatable, something that if any of you were to pick just one out of here, it would be so simple to do, because that's exactly what it is. It's very simple. When we look past the differences and the conflicts, it's actually this simple to get intergenerational harmony in your offices. So I'm coming to the end. I think let's take a moment right now. You don't have to write this in the chat. You just close your eyes, take a moment, listen to me asking. Ask yourself, would I want to be led by me? Like, I'm going to read the question. Do I inspire trust across all age groups? Do I communicate across generational styles? Am I willing to learn from my team? Do I lead with empathy and vision? If the answer to any of this question is sometimes, then that's okay, because that's where growth begins. Leadership is like a muscle. You have to work at it to build it. You have to work at it to build it. And so let's keep working together. I just want to say that, obviously we've covered a lot today. 5 minutes to go till 9 p.m. I really tried to rush through. I'm glad we made it. I want to make sure that you left this session with something practical, not just something powerful, not just powerful ideas, but something practical. So first of all, this presentation is yours. I'd like to just say that I'll send it to the organizers and you can receive it for free. And you can just revisit it, share it with your teams, reflect at your own pace, see how it goes. Second, I guess, I told you my legacy building is transformational leadership. I hold a cohort every few months. And so if anyone from this group would be interested in joining the cohort, because you've joined this session today, I would like to extend a discount for that as well. So the masterclass it's not just another training, like you can see, it's designed to shape and elevate leaders. And so remember the kicker. So remember what we said about a few slides back. This is not just a feel-good idea, transformational leadership. Harvard research told us that companies with transformational leadership have 2.6% more revenue growth compared to the peers in that industry. And so it literally pays when you lead better. So let's take this home, transform the way we lead together. Before you go, probably you can share with us in the chat what is that one nugget from today's session that you are walking away with tonight. Please pop it in the chat. I'd love to know from the 15 slides we've had today and this powerful discussion, what's that one thing that you like? Martha, be the bridge, not the bottleneck. I love that. I know it's my favorite as well. I use that phrase a lot. So people first. Clash is common but manageable through GQ. Yes. Be the coach, not the boss. I love that. That's amazing. In fact, go write it down. Like literally write it down everywhere. Somewhere you will be able to read. So Tofi, thanks for that. You can't lead different generations with one style. Yet decades. So very true. You can't lead any. A leader is the ultimate boss. Leader is the ultimate boss. Yes. Be the coach, not the boss. I love that, Liz Mongi. Yes, it is. Hassan, can we get the presentation slides? I will share them with the host, and I'm sure they will be glad to share this with everyone. Yes, I already said I'll be sharing that. Anyone else with the nuggets for today? And lead with empathy and create trust amongst the team. Yes, policies may be challenged. Bogosi, okay. Great. So as I keep reading anything that's coming out here, I know that this is a teaser leading up to the next week's event. And I don't know if the hosts are going to talk about that more. So hopefully we'll have more discussions on this during that session. And I'd like to hand over back to the host.
Thank you very much for the awesome webinar, ma'am. Thank you very much. Yes, I think I've already talked about the event that we're going to have in the coming days, which is on the 31st of July and the 1st of August. It's about the summit that we're going to conduct. And just to make sure that everybody gets their e-certificates for attending today's session, I would like to share a link and request everyone to fill up this and leave it up to that. I think that would be enough, and then we will send out to you the certificates along with this today's presentation, which Ms. Najda has presented us. And this recording, I hope we'll be sharing it soon on our YouTube channel. I've already shared the YouTube channel on the chat box, but again, I'm going to share it. Yeah, there you go. So yeah, you guys can like and follow this channel. Then whenever the updates come out, then you'll get to know, you'll get to see it on the channel. Thank you very much, Najda ma'am, for attending today's session. I know it was a bit rushed in the beginning, but it was very nice. It was very nice to have you on this webinar. Thank you again.
Thank you.
So with that, I would like to conclude. Thank you everyone for attending today's webinar.